You ever just die in a horrific accident and then wake up in some fantasy land where everybody's boobs are huge? I mean, eyes are huge. We know that feeling too, which is why this month is Isekai Month. That's right, we're going to be dedicating this whole month to the fantastical anime genre that makes way too much content. There are so many isekais, oh my god. But we narrowed it down to just 4 this month that we found interesting or stupid enough to watch the first 3 episodes of and talk about. Enjoy, everybody. Happy Isekai Month.
It's bad. Anime.
Hey everybody, my name's John.
And my name is Rob.
And this is Bad Anime, the show where we decide, is this anime bad? Well, we did it. We're it's our fourth week of Isekai Month.
You
our
look
final
so
Isekai.
tired and defeated.
I just got very tired when we did record on this episode.
Gee, I wonder why.
Because I realized we had to talk about this shit. Oh, good lord.
Oh, God.
We've had 3 weeks of isekais so far, and we alluded in the last episode that the first 2, not horrendous, pretty good in some spots. The third one, a bit of a dip.
Yeah.
And we kind of alluded to this one already as being the worst of the bunch, which is really funny because that would mean that somehow we have watched them in descending order.
We really did.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because this is the last one. I've already seen so many 3 episodes of isekais this month.
Yes.
Or if it's because it's actually the bottom of the pecking order. But I think it is the latter.
Oh, it's totally the latter. I mean, this is shit. And this was so fucking annoying. I can't wait to dive into this one because within the first 4 minutes, I wanted to punch every character I saw on screen.
Yep. I agree. I completely agree. And just for context, in case you didn't read anything, which I don't, so it's okay.
Yeah.
This is the Aristocrat's Otherworldly Adventure: Serving Gods Who Go Too Far. That's the name of the isekai.
Woohoo.
And it has a 4.6 rating out of 5 with 17,000 ratings. And 17,000 ratings and 206 reviews just on Crunchyroll, not even on my anime
206 reviews?
Yep.
Is it just a bunch of sad, unfortunate people going, wow, I'm a loser. I want to get stabbed outside a convenience store and then be blessed by all the gods because I'm a decent human?
I don't understand because one of the comments, I'm going to read it off right now. It says in the headline, another overpowered isekai. And you would think it would be a negative review, but it gave it 5 stars.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which, maybe that's the problem here. Maybe people just like too much of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you boil every isekai that we've ever watched on this show, translation, every isekai that I at least have ever watched.
Yep.
And you take it apart and you get the basics of all of those.
Yes.
The absolute idiot basics of all of those.
Yes.
And combine them into one show, it would be this show.
If you took the table scraps from everything we've seen, if you took a lot of the context out, for example, because way back, and I don't think I've ever finished this point on air, but I'll do it right now. Mm-hmm. What was his name? Was it Kirito in Sword Art Online? Was that his name?
Kirito.
Kirito, right. I was going to say Rio again, because every character in a isekai now is Rio from Spirit Chronicles. But
They're
anyway,
the same.
Anywho, but for Kirito, he was the start of the overpowered craze. But the thing is, he worked for it.
Yes,
and
he leveled up.
And you got to see a hero's journey. So, and this is why I say table scraps. Because Sword Art Online was the last isekai in my memory where the focus was on going home and getting back home.
Right.
After Sword Art Online, people said, hey, why would you leave the video game world? Just stay there. Yeah. And everyone said, okay, this is a genre now.
Yep.
And if you boil all of them down and get the most derivative form of that, it will be what we're watching today.
Absolutely derivative. Great word.
This isn't even the first isekai where someone gets reincarnated as an infant. There's more of them. There's another one coming out next season. I think there was one made before this. I know I've heard of them beforehand. So yeah, and like they actually get reincarnated as like an actual baby in that one, like a newborn. This one wakes up at the age of 3 years old, but the thing is, as a 3-year-old, the dub voice actor decided to put all their effort into it. Or maybe it was the director who said, we want you to talk like a baby, so a lot of W's, please. And they're like, okay, I don't know why a baby has to sound like Elmer Fudd.
Yep.
But here's the weird fucking thing to me. They did it also for the internal monologue? Why would you do that for the internal fucking monologue?
It didn't make any sense.
When the baby's talking, you could throw in all like those be very, very quiet.
Very, yeah.
You could do that, but for the fucking internal monologue,
yes,
have them speak like a human.
It should
have them speak like a high school student.
The internal monologue should be the character that died.
Exactly.
And was transitioned into the other world. Which, to not get ahead of ourselves, how they were isekai'd in this beginning, once again, very basic, very simple. It's a guy, and he sees some girls get in trouble being attacked by some other guy with a knife, and then he goes to try to save them. He gets stabbed. He dies.
That's it. And he screams,
"That's it.
Time to show some spine." And before he gets stabbed to death, I'm like, okay, I guess you showed some more guts than spine there, pal.
He did. He really did. And he awakens. His name is Kazuya, and he awakens
as Kain.
Kain von Silford, the son of an aristocratic family in this fantasy world.
If you wanted to drink very irresponsibly, take a healthy swig or shot whenever you hear Kain's fucking name get screamed by a secondary character. You would play that with beer. Actually, don't do it with shots, please.
Oh, God.
Maybe do it the first one with a shot, and then get a coast for the rest of the night. Because if you did it with shots, you'd be in the ER.
Yeah. Everybody can't stop saying Kain.
Yes.
The entire show.
That's what happens when you make the show originally about an infant. But, he was 3 years old when this started, based on all the math I was able to do.
Right.
And then, by the end of the 3 episodes, he's 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And it did remind me a lot of the first 3 episodes of Spirit Chronicles again, where it was just like,
Me too. I was like, well, I mean, maybe it's not as dramatic as like the mid-episode jump to like, okay, can't believe it's been 5 years. But, this does do a similar thing.
Yeah.
I think that there is a part of it too, like he wakes up, and also it's kind of that idea that you were talking about before, that he's not like, oh, I should get back to the real world. He's like, wow, I'm a little boy in a fantasy world, and I can learn magic, and I can read books and stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm the son of a goddamn aristocrat.
Yes.
I'm awesome. I'm going to stay in this world. And then we meet his entire family, who is as normal as they come, as basic as they come. And
I would say more basic than normal, just because
very basic.
They're all quirky and a little weird. The mom's very weird because how proud she is of her kid all the goddamn time.
Yeah, too much.
And
too much.
The dad is just boring. The most interesting thing is the deep blue hair.
And his sister seems to have a strange crush on him.
Honestly, in an anime, that doesn't even make me fucking blink anymore. It's just it's so frequent. It happens all the time.
It does.
We covered a whole anime that was centered around that concept twice.
I was gonna say. Yep. Twice. We did twice. You're right.
Yes.
But
I knew it was there, but I'm like, okay, I can't focus on this because there's too much other shit going on.
There was.
Why? Who was the dub voice actor who gave it their all here?
I have no idea.
Who heard the director? It's like, okay, sure.
He completely accepts his fate as being in this new fantasy world, is totally cool with it.
Yes.
And then, 2-year time skip happens, just kind of, and he's 5 now. And then at the age of 5, they say, like, okay, Kain, it's time to go to the altar of the gods to see if they will give you their powers. Yeah. And he's like, cool, all right, man.
They refer to it as a baptism here.
Baptism, that's right.
And
that's
so,
right.
Yeah, so where you stand in front of the gods, and I don't know, it reminds me of like this, was it Thrones that had the 7 gods?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Thrones who had the 7 gods.
Maybe the gods, yeah.
Yeah, like like the 7 something. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, they had the. Yeah, I think it was Thrones / Song of Ice and Fire who had like the 7 gods, and they had like kind of the same thing here. But these ones were just a bunch of twee idiots who just giggled.
Yeah.
It's like, haha, I am the god of this. The only time I've ever laughed in these 3 episodes was when they explained, it's like, all right, because they knew about his reincarnation.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, you weren't supposed to die. And he's like, yeah, obviously I got stabbed. It's like, no, you weren't supposed to do anything, because if you didn't do anything, the guy would have fallen and tripped, and then he would have gotten dogpiled by all the other dudes passing by. He's like, oh, so I literally died for nothing. And they're like, yeah, you can't do anything right.
Which is so funny. And also, in front of 7 gods who are like, hey, man, yeah, for your 5th birthday, we're going to give you unlimited power. We're just going to max out all of your stats, because people in all of these fucking fantasy worlds have video game stats for no goddamn reason. It doesn't make any sense to me how every one of these isekais, at some point, somebody's like, oh, could you pull up your stats? I'm like, this is what? Why? Every time you're in a video game.
It's even weirder when it gets baked in the narrative. You know what I mean?
It's at least so weird.
At least with last week's edition with Kamikatsu, like, the guy tried to use video game lingo, and they're all like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But in this one, you just pull up your stats menu, like with fucking Sword Art Online. But the thing is, that was a video game.
That was a video game. And now everybody here, like, the dad is like, I have my magic at level 5. I'm like, who the fuck gives a shit? Why are you saying these things? And, like, it just sounds so dumb and contrived. And then all of the gods are like, all right, we're going to max out Kain. You're 5, so we're going to max out all your powers, and you're a good guy. We know because you died for other people in your previous life. And the guy that's Kain is sitting right there. And I'm like, this would be the time that I would ask the gods if I could return to my previous life.
Yes.
You know?
Can I get resurrected?
They are all-powerful, all-knowing gods that can pretty much do anything. Why would you just be like, okay, yeah, thanks for the power. I'm good to continue my life as an infant.
Yeah, so he's going to continue his life as an infant while having the mind of a high school kid. And then he learned there was a fly there, and you tried to
There was a fly. I tried to clap it, but I couldn't. I'll clap those cheeks later, though.
So he gets his stats, and next thing you know, because they say early on where it's like, all right, your max level can be 5 in all your stats. Then he runs away to check his stats, and they're all level 10. And he's like, oh no, I'm overpowered. Oh no. I'm like, why are you saying oh no?
Yeah.
This is exactly what you fucking wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Because now...
And
he has to hide the fact that he's overpowered because people will come for him and his family. I'm like, but if you're 2 times the strength of any other person in this entire universe...
We think you're good.
That shouldn't be a problem, I feel, right?
But it was just so fucking funny because at one point, one of the gods participants said, don't forget your stat conceal skill. So he tries to use it, but he doesn't use it properly, and his dad does see his magic stats, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And his dad's able to see all his skills, like, Kain, you can't show this to anybody. And I'm like, this is the equivalent in the modern world if, like, you had a tape measure for your height and your Johnson at all times, or you just had a piece of paper on it, with them on it, and just dropped it in the middle of conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, it is your IQ, your income, your height, and your dick size. And I'm like, this is what this is. And it, again, like you said, it's just so contrived and fucking stupid. And
so dumb.
But the show is like weirdly. There's not really any. I don't know. Is there like any cynicism here? Is there any like deconstruction? Is there any parody? It feels like almost genuine.
No, I think it is genuine. I think it's really like. At least from the 3 episodes we watched.
Yeah.
It feels like this is all intentional. It's all just like a formulaic, basic isekai shell.
Yeah,
of,
it's like, hey,
of an anime.
This character's OP. Enjoy him for a little bit. In the second episode, his tutors show up. Who are like these teenage girls because of fucking course they are.
Yeah, these big boobily teenage girls show up to teach him. And
so we get course,
they're not as good as at anything as him. So they're like, well, we should just hang around with him because this is a good
They
gig.
said we're going to teach you other stuff, and my butthole tightened so much. I'm like, please don't get pervy with this. But thankfully they didn't.
They didn't. Yeah, they did. A little bit, but not really. Yeah.
So but the thing is, like towards in the middle of the episode, like, wow, I can't believe 3 years have gone by. I'm like, wow, we didn't get to see any of that. And And then he's saying something to goodbye, and they both give him a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, and I got total flashbacks to Kiss X Sis, which is something we haven't covered yet, but we really should.
Kiss X6. I know the name. I know that name before. You've mentioned this before, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's getting a resurgence now. Because again, once someone mentions something on Trash Taste, it's like Google search.
Here we go.
Yeah, they're re-corrupting an entire new generation of anime fans, and I love it. And at the same time, reminding me, it's like, oh shit, I watched all of that.
Yep.
Anywho,
Happens to the best of us.
happens to the best of us at the worst of times. Anywho, we do. So Kind gets like trained kind of by these tutors, and we should say why, because apparently when you're 5, you get to decide what you want to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think 18's too early to ask it.
I think it was because when you're 5, you get the powers, but then when you're 10 maybe, or 8 or something like that, then you get to decide like what you want to do. With
no,
your
it was
life,
5
right?
because the reason they got the tutors for him, because he said at 5 I want to be an adventurer,
Right.
and then 3 years passed. Then he was 8 years old when his tutoring was done.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, so at 5 years old, they're asking kids, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Which is cute. But in here, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, you want to be a firefighter. Now you're in the academy. It's like, wait a minute.
You're going to go to school for 10 years to be a doctor right now.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I mean,
And they, it seems like they really taught him mostly like not skill-based stuff, but maybe more so like, okay, like how do you get around in this new world that he's experiencing?
how to get around the new world, and like
He never left his castle because, I mean, they didn't allow him to, but also because
honestly,
he was just born again.
A decent allegory for the American higher education system, where you learn more about social skills and
Through experience.
It's a different life experience in different situations, and you do actually what you were supposed to be studying.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, if you want to be really smart and force that out of it, you could, but it probably didn't intend to even give that to you.
oh no, they definitely didn't intend to give that to me. They totally did not. It's just what I noticed, and I'm just like, that reminds me of like everyone's collegiate experience.
You're way smarter than this show.
That was the nicest thing you sent to me today. Oh my god, you look amazing.
Oh. Thank you. Thanks.
You're one of the few people I know who can genuinely wear yellow and I'm like, that actually looks good.
That's so nice. Thank you.
That's a really tough color to pull off.
Yeah, and no, it is a tough color to pull off. I only have like 1 or 2 yellow shirts, so especially this bright yellow. It's tough. It's not easy, but hey,
it's not easy being green.
It's not easy being yellow.
Anywho, fucking this bullshit.
Yeah, this bullshit.
So yeah, Kind's an
yeah.
Where even were we? He
learns from his tutors, right?
Yeah,
Kind
he
learns from his tutors. And at some point after his tutoring ends, he says he wants to be an adventurer.
Well, he already said that,
right?
And so,
yeah.
So he already said that. They gave him the training, and they're going. Yeah, so that's kind of where the second episode sort of ends.
So they're going to the royal capital.
Yes, they're going to the cap because of course they have to have one.
They have to have a royal capital. They have to have a central capital city, and they are going there. When they see that somebody is in distress, or Kind uses his fucking scanner ability to sense that there is problems up ahead and a monster attack, so he goes up there and fights off a bunch of big orcs, just smacks them around.
Kills them all in one hit.
And he realizes that in the cart that he was protecting are 2 princesses.
Yes.
One is the daughter of the king, and one is the daughter of a duke.
Yes.
And they both fall madly in love with him immediately at age 8. And then he travels with them, and they're like, we need Kind to sleep in our bed. And I'm like, this is getting weird.
Yeah.
So they make him sleep in a bed between them on the way to the royal capital. And they get to the royal capital, and then Kind is given like a Medal of Honor or something for protecting them.
Yes.
And then the king and the duke both realize that he slept in the same room as them. So then they're like, you have to marry our daughters right now.
Oh, is that how it ended?
Yeah.
I must have fallen asleep because
I think that's how it ended, because he was like, "Oh, I don't really want to marry your daughters," and they were like, "You have to marry them now," and he was like, "Oh, okay."
It's also how the Cheat Skill kind of ended, where the girl's like, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah, always something like that.
I must have knocked out because it was probably probably like 1 something in the morning when I was finishing the show, and I wasn't even drinking that night, but like I was just knocking out hard.
Yeah.
I got through the first 2 episodes really well. I'm like, okay, this is shit. And then I got to the end of the 3rd episode, and I must have been dozing off because I'm like, yeah, no, this is getting dumber now. Where it's just,
it was legitimately difficult to watch the whole time.
I found every character really annoying.
Yes, they were all really, really annoying. Especially Kain, but everybody around Kain was also very annoying.
Well,
as well.
I'll say this: Kain is the only one, for better or worse, and by that I mean worse. Kain was the only character's name I fucking remembered. Everyone else had 0 to no personality. I remember the only look I remember from the dad was when the princesses were pulling Kain away, and he's like, "Dad, help me!" And the dad's like, "The fuck do I do?" Because you know how hard outranked he is in this system, and he's like,
yeah,
fuck this. I mean, this isn't what I wanted to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found very funny. Yep. But that's that's where the show ends. It's Cheat Skill had this a little bit. Spirit Chronicles had a lot of it, where it feels like there's no conflict.
Yeah. There is no conflict in this entire 3 episodes, to my knowledge. Conflict that can't be easily overcome, Yeah,
because at least in Cheat Skill, the guy got hit once or twice.
At least the guy was fat at one point,
Exactly. And and the same thing happened in Spirit Chronicles, where it was the front-loaded suffering, where Rio.
And as we all know from Cheat Skill, if you are not skinny and hot,
your life sucks.
Your life is horrible. So but with this one,
he's also 10, so we don't know if he's going to be skinny or hot yet.
True, I guess that's true. I mean, of course he's going to be hot. Look how they've planned this out. But
his sister's gonna come back when like they're both 18 or older, and his sister's gonna want to do stuff to him. It's like, okay, show, please,
definitely,
get your pants back on. You can go to your room.
Yep, I will have to say that this. Wait, hold on. Did I stop recording for a second? Hold on. No, I'm good.
Okay. I was about to say, like, oh, please, God, don't make me talk more about this fucking show.
Don't make me do this again.
Yeah.
Because, this one, I have to say, absolute waste of time. Also, this is everything that is wrong with the isekai genre in a whole.
Yes.
And I could say that only after watching a few isekais. I get it. I get the idea. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think it could be fun and compelling.
Yes.
This show seems to be kind of the large majority of isekais that are running nowadays.
Yes.
Are just this kind of consistent, like, OP character, very, very bland, fantasy world, magic powers.
It's the everyman characters, because the average viewer can be like, that could be me.
Right. Like, I could die and then go into this fantasy world where I could then be an OP character.
Exactly.
It's the same. And if the isekai genre continues to pump out these shows, I think the genre is definitely dead at this point if this is what they have to offer. But the thing is, it's not dead because people love
keep
this shit.
Watching it.
They love this shit. They love it everywhere. Everywhere I'm seeing great reviews of this entire show, and I'm like, wow. And people even saying like, yeah, it's bland, but I love it. I'm like, what do you mean? Isn't there, like, I feel like people are saying that this is a good, like, brain drain show that you could just kind of put it on and just be like, not think. Like, I would much rather brain drain to a lot of other shows than brain drain to this one. This one actually perturbed me watching it. I was watching it and I was like, I want this to be over. I checked the time on so many occasions when I was watching these episodes.
Yeah, very few times. Well, no, how should I put this? There was probably other shows that I can't remember right now, but this one was one of the hardest for me to like stop looking at the remaining time on screen. I remember a few times when that mid card would pop up, I'm like, oh fuck, we're only at the middle.
I know. It was hard, and it was. I gotta say, this isn't part of our 3 episode rule situation, but it was bad. It was bad.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
Definitely bad.
With 3-episode rules, I kind of forgot what we were doing because
Yeah.
3-episode rules we usually ask, are we in or out? But we're judging it. We're already calling it bad 3 episodes in, which is rare for us. And you know
Very
what?
rare.
I honestly, I can't disagree with you right now. I think this show is legitimately bad. I'm only 3 episodes in. I don't see where it can go. For other shows that I wasn't too gripped by, I could see where, like for Kamikatsu, I could see where that one could go in interesting directions, but I'm not interested in it. This one, this was actually just a bad viewing experience. I was annoyed, and I just, similar to Iwakakeru, when I get aggravated when I feel like I'm wasting my time. And this show just felt like a waste of time.
Absolutely a waste of time.
So let's not waste any more of our time.
Let's not waste any more of our time. And, since it is the end of Isekai Month, I'm very aware of our opinions on this 4th episode.
Yes.
But in general, just to kind of like sum up the whole month, because there has been, we've watched 4 isekais, 3 episodes of each, all new, brand new isekais.
All still, they haven't finished yet as of time of recording, no.
No, none of them, it seems like, have finished right now. But generally, I wasn't as pissed off as I thought I would be this month. Certain shows, I think the fact that we ended with this one left a sour taste in my mouth, but
Possible, yeah.
the first 2, not bad. I would think about continuing those. I think specifically for me, I would think about continuing Ray Liana.
Well, we talked about doing Cheat Skill more for the show, because for the podcast. Yeah, and I would love to keep watching Cheat Skill and cover it on the show, because I can see Cheat Skill going the Spirit Chronicle route, where there's just no conflict for the guy, where they front load everything, and then it's like they're hanging on the fact that he was fat at one point, being his only source of conflict.
His only problem.
Ray Liana, I would like to give I don't know with Ray Liana, it didn't grab me as much as it grabbed you.
Sure.
But if you're interested in reviewing it for the show or keep going with it, I would definitely be down. Because it was more otome, it was more centered on a female audience. So I love when we tackle stuff that's meant for girls. But yeah, with Kamikatsu, I was just bored, and with this aristocrat bullshit, I was just annoyed.
Yeah, so I think that exactly encompasses my feelings throughout the entire month. Which goes to say, like, we've done a lot of shitting on isekais this month, but I feel like there are times where they can be done well.
No, that's the thing. Isekais can work in a way, but like you said, brain drain comes up a lot. I feel like isekai right now is the anime equivalent to like The Office or something to that regard, where you just put it on the background and don't have to care.
Yep, don't have to think. Right.
I kind of get that if you're doing something else. You know what I mean? Like putting a show on in the background while you're tackling another task. But I'm not the type of person to put something on and just brain drain like that.
Right.
Maybe it's because I just do too much shit.
Yeah, same. Like I need to, like, if I'm going to put something on, it's like, for exactly as you said, it's kind of like just some sound in the background while I do something else, or like this anime, I probably did watch it while I was cooking or something, because I was like, all right, let's watch this fucking bullshit while I cook.
Oh, you did like the like halfway through episode 2 give up, and you're like, okay, I don't need to devote my full attention to this.
Yes, I think I did.
I've done that a lot with shows. I did that with one show in particular we're about to cover. Yeah, I gave up. Just gave up. I'm like, I am not interested. Yeah, this one.
Oh god.
Like I said, I was falling asleep on my couch, and instead of saying to myself, I'm gonna go to bed and then get up tomorrow, I said, no, I'm finishing this tonight. I don't care if I forget plot details. It's not that important, because this show is poop.
It'll get done.
Yeah. From the brain drain angle, I get why people could enjoy it. But
yeah, I guess
that's just not my avenue of consumption, so this show's just definitely not for me.
Yeah. But all in total, we had an isekai month. We did it.
We had an isekai month, and I hate to sound so dour because I'm so dour on this show, but am I dour on the genre? Not really. Am I dour on the oversaturation? Yes. Who knows? We might be entering a cool third wave where things get so bad then they get good again.
Maybe. That is potential.
It's the arc I wish hair metal had.
Yeah.
Because hair metal was amazing, then got real bad, and in '89 there was some changing of the guard there where things got like super technical for no reason.
Yep.
Like you had Mr. Big and Winger bands who were like super technically proficient. Like we could have had a wave of super technical glam metal that just never got a chance to happen.
That never happened, really. Never exploded.
Yeah, so never got the chance because '91 happened. But who knows? Maybe if Isekai has a room to do it, we can get that cool little third wave where there's a new iteration, something to spark the genre. Right now, you get to too much derivative shit like this, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah. And until then, bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
And until then, get out of my salmon bushes.
Get out of my... We didn't ramble as much as I thought we would.
We didn't, and I can't believe it. I think with this one we were just like, let's just get down to business. Let's just do this fucking thing.
Yeah, we came in really serious. We're like, okay, we have to talk about this shit. Let's actually explain our thoughts and opinions. And then we just called it bad for a half hour.
Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that.
It's bad.
Wow, oh my god, what a rousing podcast of anime conversation. Am I right, my compares? Am I right, my weebdom? Anywho, yeah, you can send us a message if you want. Did you like this podcast? Did you hate this podcast? Do you want to kill me? Do you want to drench me in Calaxosaur blood and watch me drink it? That's fine. Just send us an email at badanimepod@gmail.com or DM us on our Instagram at badanimepod, all one word. You can also find us on YouTube as Bad Anime, and you could leave a comment on whatever video you want to leave a comment on. We'll read them all anyways. We don't care. I love you. Kiss, kiss.
Simple Equations Podcast Network.